led to colossal losses by depositors in the affected banks. The government at that time set up failed banks tribunal that tried the perpetrators of the huge failure. The findings were astonishing, as the losses were as a result of shady banking deals, non-regulated and unethical process of obtaining credit facilities, plus non-repayment of bank loans. To address these anomalies, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation was created, and 25 years after, the corporation is celebrating by looking back at how it had managed the supervision of insured institutions, resolved bank distress conditions, and acted as liquidator of closed insured financial institutions. The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, a parastatal under the Federal Ministry of Finance, was established in 1988 and operates under Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation Act of 1990. The NDIC is charged with the responsibility of protecting the banking sector from instability occasioned by runs and loss of depositors' confidence. Tonight on our show, we'll examine the NDIC and its services to several millions of banking Nigerians in the past 25 years. My name is Kirian Umayo, and thanks for investing your time in us tonight on this show. And I'll bring you the news of the day. Survivors of Friday's bomb blast in Azare town of Bauchi State receiving treatment at the Federal Medical Center Azare are responding to treatment. Medical Director of the center, Dr. Abdullahi Ibrahim, confirmed this in an interview with correspondent Babayo Tafida Misau.
The bomb blast, which occurred last Friday morning, left several people dead and many injured who are now receiving treatment at the Federal Medical Center, Azare. Some eyewitnesses interviewed expressed shock over the situation.
We
are waiting at the ATM machine. There was a parking space nearby, then we had an explosion. We do not know what happened, but just had an explosion which killed many people.
Medical Director, Federal Medical Center Azare, Dr. Abdullah Ibrahim, said the injured victims are responding to treatment.
Many are responding at this moment. Some are even in the theater receiving one form of operation, some on blood, and our staff are doing all their best.
The Bauchi State Commissioner of Police, Lawal Shehu, in company of the area commander Azare, ACP Usman Madu, and other police officers were also at the scene for an on-the-spot assessment. In Bauchi, Babayo Tafida Misau, NTA News.
The third bi-monthly Federal and State Security Administrations meeting has ended in Lokoja with a call on states of the Federation to take monthly intelligence reports more seriously in view of its importance in addressing security challenges nationwide. Correspondent Solomon Ayedehin reports.
Against the backdrop of security challenges confronting the country, the periodic meeting organized by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation provided a platform for participants to rub minds on how best to improve efficiency in various departments, particularly security of documents and information. Kogi State Governor Captain Idris Wada urged the participants to come up with a model and practical ideas on data preservation without tampering with the secrecy and integrity of official documents.
You should therefore review your methods and procedures so that the preservation of classified information will be enhanced.
Permanent Secretary, Special Services, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Dr. Habiba Lawal, criticized the ease with which non-state actors are getting access to illegal arms, purportedly for self-defense.
As the 2015 general elections draw nearer, there is need to mop up such illicit weapons to prevent desperate politicians from accessing them in their quest to win elections.
Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan says he is determined to complete all ongoing projects in the country, including the 388 kilometers east-west road as well as the immediate award of contract to reconstruct the 15-kilometer Eleme-Une Port junction of the East-West Road that is posing danger to commuters. Minister of Niger Delta, Stephen Oru, said this while inspecting some projects in the region. Mayor Ogidi was there.
The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Dr. Stephen Oru, who inspected various projects in Bayelsa, Rivers and Delta states, frowned at the slow pace of work in some project sites and gave the contractors 2 weeks to complete or stand to get their contracts terminated. The poor condition of the Eleme-Une Port Road in Rivers State caught the attention of the minister.
We are expecting the federal government to award a new contract very soon. Eleme to Une junction, a distance of 15 kilometers.
The minister said apart from the East-West Road, the Ministry of Niger Delta is also embarking on other road projects, housing, youth programs and skills acquisition centers. In Abuja, Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is poised to reclaim her pride of place as one of the top global broadcast organizations soon. The Director General of the NTA, Mr. Shola Omole, has made the declaration while speaking with Nigeria's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Dr. Alhatu Sariki Tafida. Bikisu Abdulrazak Duoye reports that Dr. Tafida lauded the management of the NTA for the positive changes so far achieved.
Disseminating information, receiving feedback, enlightening and entertaining, as well as uniting the diverse groups of Nigeria is one of NTA's core mandates, which Dr. Dalhatu Seriki Tafida says NTA, under the new management, has successfully delivered on. Telling the success stories of Nigeria, he says, is one that many Nigerians across the globe are interested in seeing and hearing.
It's a special service. You must have special funding. It's an external funding. There must be funding for this special thing, and it can be done.
Shola Omole, who wants to make NTA into a global brand and pride of Nigerians by running it in the line of business, says improving professionalism and service to Nigerians is one of his priorities.
And ensure that NTA is up there with the best in the world. We have correspondents in the UK, the US, Germany, China, Canada, Ghana, and Cairo. Suddenly find somebody is reporting from NTA News from different parts of the world. So that's what we're going to do.
They were taken on a tour of Nigeria's flagship mission by head of immigration desk. The DG also interacted with Nigerians and other nationals at the High Commission in London. Bilkisu Abdulrazak Oduoye, NTA News.
The transformation agenda of President Goodluck Jonathan's administration can be better translated into more reality if those who have passed through the tutelage are allowed to govern in states. The immediate past Minister of Information, Mr. Labran Maku, said this when he submitted his nomination form along with other aspirants at the PDP National Secretariat here in Abuja. Political correspondent Femi Johnson reports.
Supporters of the immediate past information minister are delighted to associate with him as he submits his expression of interest and nomination forms. Mr. Labara Maku says Nasarawa State will witness a new era of development if given the ticket. He thanked the youths for identifying with him.
I have stepped out to bring peace to our state, to reconcile warring communities, to lay a foundation for development, to halt the drift that has occurred in the last 2.5 years.
Others are not left behind in the race for the standard bearer of People's Democratic Party in some states. They all express confidence that the PDP is the party to beat, while their candidature will bring forth more development.
We are coming in to make sure that we bring in all the stakeholders together so that there will be peace once more in Nasarawa State.
An opportunity to create employment and create wealth, opportunity to enhance the skill of our people.
Governance has moved beyond just providing physical infrastructure. We want to begin to provide human infrastructure.
We have a lot to do to improve our tourism in Cross River State. We have a lot to do with respect to our agriculture.
What I just needed is a transparent and fair process where everybody, every interest, every opinion should be taken into consideration.
The National Organizing Secretary of the PDP, Alhaji Abubakar Mustafa Adala, told the aspirants that the leadership of Alhaji Adamu Muazu will not disappoint them during the primaries. From the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja, Femi Johnson, NTA News.
Nigerian women have been called upon to participate actively in politics by campaigning for positions of their choice and coming out en masse to vote in the forthcoming general elections. The Director General, National Orientation Agency, Mr. Michael Mary, made this known in Abuja when the management of the Nigerian Women Trust Fund paid him a courtesy visit in his office. Mary said participation in politics is a civic responsibility of all citizens, adding that women should take advantage of the organized information they have and be fully involved in politics. Executive Officer of the Nigerian Women's Trust Fund, Aisha Osori, says the objective of the organization is to increase the representation of women in Nigerian governance at all levels and address the growing concerns about the gender imbalance in elective and appointive positions. She pledged the readiness of the non-governmental organization to work with NOA in promoting the ideals of a better society. Now, Nigerians in Ghana have been urged to contribute their quota to ensuring that the 2015 polls is free and fair in Nigeria. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Youth and Student Matters, Comrade Jude Imagwe, made the appeal at the Nigerian Youth Diaspora Summit in Accra, Ghana. Correspondent Aliyu Tokoro reports.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Youth and Student Matters said the Jonathan administration has laid a solid foundation for the future of the country and its citizens, and Nigerians in diaspora have a significant role to play.
My brothers and sisters, transformation is working practically in Nigeria. And transformation will not be complete if you too don't play your own role to ensure that there is a transformed country.
Convener of the summit, Comrade Barry Undu, says Nigerians in Ghana are monitoring developments at home and they are satisfied with the administration's transformation agenda because of its grassroots programs. Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment in ensuring that all eligible voters are enfranchised before the forthcoming general elections. National Commissioner of INEC, Lawrence Muruku, gave this assurance while on an inspection tour to some centers.
Compared to the delay witnessed in most polling units yesterday, NTA News discovered that distribution of the permanent voters' cards was in progress in the polling units visited. It was also observed that the exercise was peaceful. Some of the electorate comment on the exercise.
I'm appealing to them to increase the number of people that are working.
My appeal to INEC is to ensure that every eligible voter, he or she, is registered and is not disenfranchised.
On the issue of misplaced temporary voters card, the INEC National Commissioner throws more light.
If their names are not there, let them wait for the CVR, which is starting on Wednesday. They will go and register again. But if their names are there, let them not worry. They will just apply that they've misplaced. And there is form we give them, they fill. Then we will look for another card for them.
He urged the electorate to be calm and bear with INEC, assuring them of the Commission's commitment towards enfranchising all eligible voters before 2015 elections. In the face of delays experienced in the ongoing permanent voters card distribution exercise, an all-progressive Congress chieftain, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, expressed reservations. Meanwhile, the first phase of PVC distribution is going on in 11 local government councils in Lagos, while the phase 2, covering the remaining 9 local governments, according to INEC, will commence on the 28th of November 2014. In Lagos, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Today is 8th of November. It is recognized as the International Day of Radiology, the day that X-ray was discovered by William Conrad Röntgen 119 years ago. The day is being observed by experts in this unique field of medicine as a day of action and awareness by alerting the world to the stunning medical, scientific, and artistic possibilities of imaging with a special focus on brain imaging. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah tells us more about that.
From very humble beginnings when radiology was only associated with X-rays, the radiology specialty has grown to include more sophisticated equipment such as ultrasound, MRI, and others.
Radiology is the science of helping actually medicine find non-invasively the causes of disorders, whether it is for chest pain, cough, where they need to do a chest x-ray, or the lady that felt a lump in her breast, she needs to come and do mammography. Radiology have to be monitored routinely for the amount of radiation they inadvertently, get, so that we know over a period that they are not unnecessarily exposed.
We lack equipment and we lack training. Like in the area of the cardiac disorders, we're limited with a chest x-ray. I think government has to look at this aspect because
This year's commemoration brings to the fore the important role that medical imaging scans like MRI and CT scans serve in diagnosing and treating brain diseases and injuries.
We have all it takes in Nigeria in terms of brain imaging, but the equipment that we have are insufficient.
I wish to implore you to continue to work together as a team and in harmony.
The event, which was facilitated by the National Hospital, brought together radiology experts in Abuja for the first time. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
And that does it for the news beat for tonight's edition of Weekend File. About 2 decades ago, most Nigerians would rather keep their money at home due to what was then known as the failed banks phenomenon. As a depositor confidence-building measure, government put the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation in place. March 2014 marked the 25th year since the establishment of the NDIC. How far has it fared? These and more after the break.
On the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Chi Happy Hour, burst of refreshment. Available in peach, tropical fruit, apple peach pear, kiwi mint lime, and guava. Chi Happy Hour, burst of refreshment.
House of Chi.
Sheyi Makinde, stimulating attitudinal changes and initiating radical thinking. Sheyi Makinde, the man of his words, an achiever per excellence, imbibing public confidence and enlist mass participation in governance. Sheyi Makinde, a philanthropist, driving a collective vision of a people of your state in a unique way. Sheyi Makinde, a man of the people and a silent achiever. Sheyi Makinde can be trusted to do more.
We will change the future of our state for the better.
Sheyi Makinde, the man for change.
Johnny S5.5, the slimmest in the world. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved. Johnny M2, 28 days standby time. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
When I thirsty. It tastes good, it tastes good. Hollandia, yogurt break time. When I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. Hollandia, yogurt break time. When I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. Oh, yeah, yo.
Hollandia yogurt, available in strawberry, plain, and pineapple coconut.
Experience Katsina.
Home of a vibrant history, a culture of pride and peace. Centuries of tradition have built a solid foundation.
Invest in Katsina.
The future is here. Opportunity is everywhere. Nestled in northwest Nigeria, it's the home of untapped resources, solar and wind energy, and solid minerals.
Grow Katsina.
From the fertile land and the seeds of potential, grow cotton, corn, rice, and livestock. Katsina is the breadbasket for Nigeria and the region, home to the most important resource of all, our people.
Explore Katsina's potentials. Come invest in Katsina.
I need a great deal, the best price I can get. That's why I shop on Jumia.
Quality you can trust. You can count on us. We make shopping easier. Cash on delivery. When you shop on Jumia. When the radio shine.
Get the incredible Angel smartphones starting from 13,999 naira at jumia.com.ng. Jumia, the online shop you can shop.
Transformation ambassadors of Nigeria. My good people of Nigeria, does anybody use mirror to look at what they have at hand? No! Good luck at the ingredients of life. Automobile industries, full encouragement. Second Niger bridge from mirage to reality. Good luck! Railways, seaports and airports are come back to modern life. Good luck! Or a Benin highway and other federal highways from dead trap to modern spectacle. Good luck! There you are. Petrol and with control price and so many other etc. Good luck I do. Good luck are going to do. And good luck will be yours. Are you see what I'm saying? Only good luck affects the security challenges of Nigeria with honesty and commitment. Fighting terrorism to a halt. Good luck continue for Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Down for one vision, Nigeria.
And now to the business of tonight. The government, in an attempt to restore the people's confidence in the banking sector, introduced the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, in 1988. 25 years after, correspondent Shehu Ogunlue examines the activities of the corporation, particularly in restoring Nigeria's confidence in the banking sector.
Of bank failure started from as early as 1930, when the industrial and commercial banks failed. Subsequently, Many other banks failed. In 1954, about 17 banks failed. The reasons for the failures are not far-fetched. They included unfavorable competitive environment, the absence of a supervisory and regulatory authority, outright fraud, and many more. This led to the loss of confidence in the banking system and the monetary authorities.
That time, there were no minimum standards specified. And I think we have gone very far from that. In terms of minimum capital requirement and prudential rules, the stage we are now, I think the banking system is robust, and because we are harnessing every other measure that have been taken up to date, I think the banking system is on a sound footing.
The government, in an attempt to restore the people's confidence in the banking system, introduced a deposit insurance scheme, the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation (NDIC), in 1988. The scheme was to give relief to depositors in case of the unexpected failure of a bank. The NDIC worked through 4 mandates in order to achieve its objective properly. These include deposit guarantee, bank supervision, distress resolution, and bank liquidity and claims settlement. It is an undisputable fact that the NDIC has contributed immensely to restoring public confidence in the Nigerian banking sector. It has also paid depositors of insured deposits their claims in the event of bank failures. Not only that, it has also paid uninsured depositors their claims, thereby bringing stability to the financial system.
The deposit insurance scheme is what we guarantee the depositors to a certain level of payment. In other words, it's supposed to provide a form of, it provides safety net for the individuals, and it restores confidence.
These notwithstanding, economic analysts believe that the NDIC could do more.
Data integrity is very essential. Where you don't know who is compiling data from each of these banks, and then at the end of it, you access it and then use it for the purposes of making decisions, is very essential.
They believe the job of efficient deposit guarantee is not the sole duty of NDIC, but a collective responsibility. In Abuja, Sheun Ogunluyi, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the banking sector in Edo State say they now have more confidence in the sector because of the role of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC. They are also happy that they have access to the organization.
Were established to facilitate the achievement of the NDIC mandate of deposit insurance, bank supervision, failure resolution, and bank liquidation services to the grassroots, and to bring the cooperation closer to the stakeholders. People interviewed in Benin said although they have greater confidence in the banking sector because of the presence of the NDIC, the pains of the past experience in failed banks are yet to wear off because most of them did not recover their deposits.
We have confidence on bank because the NDIC is there to liquidate any bank that is unable to meet up.
They are good because they monitor banking system and how it operates.
Really trying their best. If a bank embezzles your money, you have the access to get 500,000.
My father, for example, lost his money to Savannah Bank when Savannah Bank failed.
The Controller Benin Zonal Office of the NDIC, Mr. Sunday Oluyemi, said they have been able to put smiles on the faces of customers who have issues to clear.
Customers, whether of closed bank or even those existing banks, those are people that comes, and at least we are happy to tell you that at least when they come here, at least they leave here happy and at least confident, believing that at least their complaints have been active and have been at least resolved.
The Benin Zonal Office was established in 1994. In Benin, Beauty Robami, NTA News.
The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation has recorded success stories in Kwara, Kogi, Osun, and Ekiti states that impacted positively on the people. Deborah Bola reports.
The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, coordinates the institution's affairs in Kwara, Kogi, Osun, and Ekiti states. The zonal office says to the premium examination and collection, routine examination of microfinance banks and mortgage banks, attend to public complaints, as well as participate in the examination of deposit monies banks at the instance of its parent department.
NDIC is bent on ensuring that we are better known by the general Nigerian population and particularly depositors of banks, with a message that no depositor will lose his money in the event of the collapse of any licensed bank in this country.
According to him, measures have been put in place to address the lingering problem of some failed banks in the country.
The corporation has also gotten the necessary records of the depositors of those failed banks with a view to verifying them and then reimbursing them. And like you know, the microfinance banks insured limit is 200,000. So if you have anything from 200,000 and below, you can rest assured that you get every kobo of it.
As the institution celebrates its Silver Jubilee anniversary, it is expected that the protection of depositors and sanity of the banking sector will be intensified for an all-round sanity of the nation's economy. Deborah Agbola.
Bank failures and liquidation crises were famous words that characterized the financial sector in the country before the establishment of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. Over the years, the corporation has taken consolidated measures to forestall future occurrence. Lajide Bello reports from Lagos.
The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, was established as a risk minimizer with a broad mandate of deposit guarantee, bank supervision, and provider of mechanism for orderly resolution of bank failure, including bank liquidation. NDIC management says the corporation has so far built the confidence of depositors in the country's financial sector, having ensured that those whose money was stuck in failed banks were adequately reimbursed.
The banking system is generally sound and safe. Of course, there are issues. There will always be issues.
The statistics presented shows that NDIC to date has paid a total of 6.825 billion naira to 528,277 insured depositors of deposit money banks, while 80,059 insured depositors of microfinance banks were paid 2.756 billion naira.
For the last 25 years, really, if you see, maybe I don't know what our financial system will look like without actually NDIC being in place.
Apart from the use of agent banks to ease payouts and shorten the process of payments to claimants, NDIC officials say the complexities in debt recovery has also been removed, but there are still some challenges.
In terms of also sale of the physical asset, it's also not easy.
Some financial sector observers laud the initiatives of the NDIC.
We've seen a lot of stronger regulation, stronger supervision, stronger monitoring. We've also seen improvement in the insured amount.
We have passed through a lot of crises, and they have seen actually what NDIC have done. And so what NDIC is what NDIC will continue to do.
The NDIC says it is, however, working on a framework to extend deposit insurance cover to subscribers of mobile money operators in the country. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
And from Sokoto, Mohammed Nasir updates us on the journey so far, despite the low public awareness on the corporation's operations in that zone.
The Sokoto Zonal Office of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation was opened in February 2012 with statutory mandate of ensuring banks' deposit guarantee, supervision, distress resolution, and banks' liquidation. Since its establishment, the corporation has been carrying out its effectively in all the states within the zone. In the area of supervision, the zonal office has examined 29 microfinance banks and primary mortgage bank across the zone, comprising Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara states. The zonal controller NDIC Sokoto Tajuddin Olatunji Abaniwinda said the office also participated in liquidating Ganji and Sokoto microfinance banks.
The payment is being done online by our claims resolution department based in Lagos. All we did was to provide all the necessary information, and the payment is being done online
to the affected customers. The corporation also reached out to students in Sokoto and Kebbi states on how to inculcate culture of deposits and savings. However, despite the services rendered by the NDIC Sokoto Zonal Office, some residents say they are not aware of its presence in the zone.
I do see they are assembled by the roadside. In terms of their work, I don't even know what they mean.
The zonal controller admitted low public awareness on the operations of NDIC in the zone and said efforts are on to enlighten the public on its operations. To some microfinance banks in Sokoto,
they come at the end of every year to supervise our activities of the previous year and to make sure that the deposit of the people are safe.
As the NDIC celebrates 25th anniversary, the Sokoto Zonal Office assured of more commitment to instill confidence in the minds of bank customers. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasser, NTA News.
You're watching Weekend File on the NTA Network service. We thank you for staying with us up to this moment. Up ahead is a live discussion with the Chief Executive of NDIC on the issues raised. That's coming up shortly.
Orúkọ mi, ọmọ mi, lè pẹ̀lẹ́. Kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ mi tọrọ láyéwé, àpapọ̀jù láyéwé.
Glow Caller Tunes. To get Megbele by Omaomi, text 500 to 7728. New and exclusive on Glow Caller Tunes. Tune costs 15 naira only. Glow Unlimited.
Chivita Active Fruit Juice, unique quality blend of 6 citrus fruit juices with added vitamin C. It's the perfect choice of refreshment for an active lifestyle. Want to dance? Chivita Active. Be active. Do more. Get more out of life.
House of Cheese. I need a great deal, the best price I can get. That's why I shop on Jumia.
Quality you can trust. You can count on us. Nationwide delivery. We make shopping easier. National delivery. When you shop on Jumia, when the rain or shine, Jumia.
Get the incredible Angel smartphones starting from 13,999 naira at jumia.com.ng. Jumia, the online shop you can trust. Wow, what a great beach. Look, other kids have also discovered it. Who owns this place? A Capri check. Put a straw in and let the tasty Capri Sun decide. And now the beach belongs to everyone. My kids are explorers. They love Capri Sun. Capri Sun provides them great taste, lots of energy and fun. Now, new exciting tropical flavor is also available for even more fun. Capri Sun, naturally fun. House of Cheese.
Africa. Some see it as a land of challenges. We see it as a land of endless opportunities, where success comes from hard work and determination, and having a strong partner. Boxer, engineered to be stronger, engineered to last longer. Because to make it in Africa, you need to be stronger for longer. Boxer, made stronger to last longer.
Can y'all make do this?
Let's talk about
Can your milk do this?
Love is sweet tea, love is a muppet, love is ball sweet stuck to your pockets, love is a kiss when you
Can your milk do this?
Can your milk do this? My
frying pan.
With Hollandia evaporated milk, your cereals, oats, smoothies, custards, ice cream, and variation of beverages taste pleasantly different. Hollandia evaporated milk. Life tastes different.
From the House of Chi.
You're welcome back. And I've now been joined by Alhaji Umaru Ibrahim, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation. Sir, you're welcome to Weekend File.
Thank you very much, Kerry.
Yes, 25 years of operations in a sophisticated and a complex environment. How has it been and what has been achieved so far?
Well, so far so good. Like you said, the environment is very tough, very complex, especially the financial services industry in general and banking industry in particular in Nigeria, and this is also a global phenomenon. Since the inception of NDIC, we have tried our best to ensure that we are alive to our responsibilities by ensuring that we deliver on our mandate of depositor protection, supervision, and distress resolution. Of course, we don't do this alone. We cannot do it alone. We do this in partnership and collaboration with major and critical stakeholders such as the Central Bank of Nigeria.
All right, now talking about debt recovery, because that's a major part of what you do, especially when we have bank failures, which of course in some of the reports that we have watched, everybody knows this story. Now, in a particular report from Benin, someone said that his father never recovered. He didn't get his money after all said and done when Savannah Bank failed, for instance, which NDIC actually handled. So let's talk about debt recovery. How successful have you been in the past 25 years?
Well, debt recovery generally is a problem. As we know, even traditionally in our culture, there are people who don't like to pay their debts, whether it is to their wives or to their uncles or to their relations. Talk less of borrowing or debts they owe to banks. So one of the, and as we know very well, one of the main killers, if you like, of a bank is debt, poor debt, issuance of poor debt, issuance of poor credit, and failure to recover that debt. And this is, of course, what has led to the serious problems that a lot of our banks experienced in the last several years, actually. So it's not surprising, but what we do and what even the banks themselves do is to try to ensure that as much as possible they give quality loans to people or institutions that deserve them, that have the wherewithal of repaying. But in a lot of cases, it isn't just that the debtor is not just unwilling, but maybe unable to repay due to certain circumstances. Now, talking about a debtor, I guess you are talking about a depositor.
Exactly.
In Benin, who complained that he has not been able to collect his deposits, which got stuck, so to say, in Savannah Bank. We are aware of the case, and we appreciate and we are very much concerned about the plight of depositors, especially in Savannah Bank. And we are doing everything possible together, of course, with the Central Bank of Nigeria to help Savannah Bank, come back to life, so to say.
Okay, is there a possibility of that particular bank coming back to life again?
Well, I hope so. Yes.
All right, now you mentioned Central Bank of Nigeria. You have been an advocate of financial inclusion. And how far have your efforts with the CBN been able to go at enhancing financial inclusion in this country?
Well, thank you. The issue of financial inclusion is a phenomenon that, all developing countries, in fact, the world over, is a phenomenon that attracts a lot of attention. And this is more relevant and important to developing countries, where, as we all know, a huge number of our teeming population is financially excluded. In other words, we have probably here in Nigeria close to 60% of our teeming population that doesn't have access to finance, doesn't have access to any branch of any bank, it doesn't see any ATMs, and so on and so forth. So for us to have, true economic development and inclusion in economic activities, we need to promote, access to finance as much as possible, and this informed the policy of, cash light or cashless, which has seen the introduction of various avenues whereby, the ordinary man can have better and speedier and easier access to finance with minimum effort. And this is not, like you said, is the responsibility of all of us, Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank of Nigeria, many other stakeholders, including, Pension Commission, Insurance Commission, and so on.
All right, we've just talked about financial inclusion. What is financial literacy? And how does the corporation enhance financial literacy, at least to empower individuals to effectively manage their financial resources?
Well, financial literacy goes hand in hand. It facilitates financial inclusion. It facilitates one's ability to participate in the, in the arena, if you like. Without basic literacy, without awareness of, for instance, a customer of a bank as to his rights and privileges, and also without, the customer appreciating his own contractual relationship with the bank, for instance, it would be difficult to expect, fruitful and harmonious, symbiotic, if you like, relationship between the two entities. So financial literacy, again, in this country is being driven, championed, I must say, largely by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and we're all in league, we're all in support, and each and every one of us has his own share of the responsibility. Yes.
Now, what is your relationship with AMCON?
Well, our relationship with AMCON is by and large complementary and, supportive. We, as a matter of history, we, together with Central Bank again, almost 20 years ago, saw the need of establishing an asset management company or corporation that would handle the emerging, bad loans that were mounting at that time. But that was not pushed through until, a couple of years ago, when there was a systemic crisis, so to say, what we have experienced, and which led to the establishment of AMCON, was a phenomenal, almost uncontrolled phenomenon of huge non-performing loans, which almost crippled the entire banking system and the economy. And that informed the establishment of an asset management company, which is owned by the federal government with the Central Bank and Ministry of Finance as the main promoters.
All right, sir. All right, let me stop you there and move to something I feel is very crucial. We are talking about 25 years of operations of such a gigantic establishment like NDIC, which does a very huge, job in the financial sector. Now, we talk about depositors. It is your primary objective to protect depositors in banks. And even though we've spoken about Savannah Bank in the past, but I have it as a major question here, not just Savannah Bank, but the Society General Bank of Nigeria. People who lost their deposits in those banks are yet to get their monies back. As a matter of fact, they say they are dying in silence. What have you, as the NDIC, the central bank, been able to do, or you have any future plans to see how these people can get their monies back?
Well, thank you. I don't think it is correct to say that depositors of the erstwhile, any depositor of the erstwhile Society General Bank, hasn't got access to his deposits. Good enough, the defunct Savannah Bank, metamorphosed, became Heritage Bank, and Heritage Bank took over the assets and liabilities of Savannah Bank. And you recall, and this was about 2 years ago, they went to town, did adverts in the radio and TV and print media, and called on all the depositors of the old or defunct
Savannah Bank.
Not Savannah Bank.
Society General.
Society General Bank to come forward and prove the ownership of their deposits. And those of them who wanted to be paid off were paid off. Those who wanted to continue with business were encouraged, to keep their accounts with the new Heritage Bank.
All right, so time is on our side now, but I want to ask this very last question. What is the health status of Nigerian banks for now?
Well, I must say that by and large, we're pleased to say that Nigerian banks are largely stable, sound, and healthy, and are trying to do their very best to help, the economy by creating wealth through their.
So Nigerians should go ahead and bank with any bank, in this country?
Oh, definitely.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. At this point, I'd like to thank you actually for coming here as the Chief Executive of NDIC. It's my pleasure really hosting you. Thank you for finding time to come share your thoughts here about your corporation on this program. I have been speaking with Alhaji Umaru Ibrahim, the Managing Director of and Chief Executive of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation of Nigeria. Thank you, sir, once again. You are watching Weekend File, and sports is next.
2015, Honorable Engineer Ibrahim Shehu Guso's campaign organization invites party faithful, artisans, market women, youth and religious organizations, captains of industries, and the general public to the grand declaration of Honorable Ibrahim Shehu Guso's gubernatorial race for Zamfara State on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Date, Monday, November 10, 2014. Venue, Old Airstrip, Gusau, Zamfara State. Time, 9 a.m. Zamfara 2015. Ibrahim Shehu Gusau, Nagari, Nakoa.
That's the way. That's the way.
You like it?
That's the way.
I like it.
That's the way.
Enjoy Hollandia evaporated milk. It's tasty, creamy, and nourishing.
Johnny M2, 28 days standby time. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
Would you ever buy half a dress? Is buying half a car a good deal? Would you settle for less than 100%? So why compromise on your fruit juice? Presenting Chivita 100% real, natural fruit juice with no preservatives and no added sugar, with a rich texture and real taste of fruits. Chivita 100% natural fruit juice for you and your family. Chivita 100% real fruit juice, available in orange, pineapple, apple, orange pineapple, and orange mango.
House of Cheese.
The second Lagos International Squash Classics ends in Lagos, with Nigerian players missing out on top spots, as the Archbishop Alfred Adewale Martin Football Tournament also wraps up in Lagos, plus results from the Barclays Premier League. Henry Efium has details in our sports update.
The Lagos International Squash Classics #1 seed, Adrant Grant of England, beat Karim Al-Fathi of Egypt 3-0 to emerge champion in the men's category. While in the women's event, defending champion and #1 seed Heba El Turki of Egypt defeated Milo van der Heijden of the Netherlands by 3-0. Nigerian players could only make it to the final stage of the tournament, which seeks to provide an opportunity for players to improve on their rankings.
It's a good ranking event, and it definitely will help them to improve their skills and ranking.
48 players from 11 countries featured at the week-long event. The first edition of the Archbishop Alfred Adewale Martin Football Tournament, which lasted for about 5 months, ended in Lagos Saturday, with St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church emerging champions. The Archbishop, in whose honor the tournament is organized, says apart from keeping fit, proceeds from the tournament will be used for a skill acquisition center to make the youth useful to themselves and the society.
How we can ensure that our young people acquire skills that will take them, give them something with which to take care of themselves.
Medals were presented to the 3 top winners, while the tournament trophy was presented to the overall winner. And in the Barclays Premier League, Chelsea have continued to maintain their unbeaten record this season, beating Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield, with Diego Costa scoring his 10th of the season. Champions Manchester City dropped 2 points as they came from behind to draw 2-2 at QPR. In some of the other results, Burnley got their first win of the season, beating Hull City by a lone goal, while Juan Mata scored the only goal in Manchester United's 1-0 victory against Crystal Palace. With sports updates, Henry Efium, NTA News.
And now for a quick check on the weather prospects across the country. It is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. And that's how we conclude another session of news, views, and analysis on the NTA. Join us again next week when we return with a fresh package. From the operational crew for tonight, is good night.